Loving others. Pastor Ashley's sermon on Sunday was on loving others, and her points rang a bell with me. 3 points she made reminded me of what happened to my son Keith in Ethiopia in 1969 when he was 13 years old. Those 3 points are: 1, let the Holy Spirit lead you in loving others. 2, the guidance of the Holy Spirit will enable you to give an unexpected and random act of kindness. 3, the act of kindness will result in you showing God's love to someone else. My weekly word is somewhat based on 1 John 4, verses 9 and 10. In this, the love of God was made manifest among us, that God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. In this love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us. God's love and an act of remarkable kindness changed the life of a young teenage Ethiopian boy. Are you ready for the story? My son would come home from school and he complained at the dinner table about an Ethiopian boy in a vacant lot throwing stones at him as he came home from school. I then said to my son Keith, I am going to follow you and I'm going to be about a quarter of a block behind you, and I want to see what happens, and don't look back to make sure that I am there. And the Ethiopian boy was on the vacant lot throwing stones at my son. I started walking toward the Ethiopian boy and I said, Lord, what do I do? No answer. I walked closer and I said, Lord, tell me what I should say to the boy. No answer. Lord, please help me in this situation. No answer. I got up to the boy and in a non-threatening way, I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, do you speak English? He said, yes. I said, what is your name? Joseph. And that is when the Holy Spirit gave me the question to ask the boy. It sure didn't come into my mind. Why aren't you in school? He looked up at me and he said, no money. I said, do you want to go to school? And he said, yes. And I said, take me to your school. He smiled. He took my hand. We walked past my house, turned left down the street to the school that he should be attending. The teacher saw us and said in English, Joseph, who is your American friend? And Joseph said, he wants me to go to school. I asked the teacher how much it would cost for Joseph to go to school. And she said, in American dollars, $5 a month. I paid for his education. And he later, one week, asked me to come home and see his parents. They lived in a tukul hut. And I asked his father if he worked, and he said no. And I said, I will find you a job, which I did. In my position, I was able to do so. I then also found a job for his older brother. God's love not only touched that boy, but touched his family, and it made a difference in his life, but it also made a difference in what my son Keith and daughter Deborah thought about touching the lives of others in kindness. Yes, that was a difference. And there was another part to the story, which I will share later in another weekly word. God bless you and be kind to someone this week.